Good day, everyone, and welcome back to yet another presentation on multiplication. And this time we are going to focus on multiplication of 3-digit by 1-digit numbers. Of course, the multiplication, the lesson today is for lower grades. We are going to look at multiplication of 3 by 1-digit numbers, and of course we are going to do this in two phases. The first one, we are going to use column multiplication in order to solve problems on the multiplication of 3 by 1-digit numbers. And the second phase, we are going to use partitioning in order to solve problems using problems of 3-digit number multiplication of 3-digit numbers by 1-digit number. So if you look at the column multiplication, we are going to follow some steps in order to solve problems under the topic of discussion. The first one, we are going to stating the place value of the digits. As I said earlier, we are going to make the best use of the place values and the values of each digit in the given number. So for instance, if we are given 24 as a number, we will find out what is the value of 2 and what is the value of 4. So in that case, we can say the value of 2 here is 20, and the value of 4 is just 4. That will take us to the third point, saying place each digit in its respective column. Well, hence we are dealing with 2-digit numbers. We are going to have the tens and the units. So to put them in their respective place value, we look at 20 as the value of 2. How many tens are in 20? We have 2 tens in 20. So this is going to give us 2 under the 10th column. From there, we have 4. Well, 4 is just a unit. So we are going to write 4 under the units. After which, we are going to start the operation. Those are the 3 key things that we are going to follow in order to solve multiplication of 3 by 1-digit numbers. But before we get into the topic proper, we'll have to look at multiplication of 2 by 1-digit numbers. Maybe we're going to solve just these 2 examples, and then we move ahead to our topic of discussion. Yeah. So we are going to try the first one. The first one there we have is 24 multiplied by 3. Well, looking at the number 24 multiplied by 3, we need to investigate what are the values of the digits given, and of course we are also going to investigate their place values before we start solving. So the first one we have is 24. The value of 2 there is 20, and the value of 4 is just 4. So we get our place values here, hence we are dealing with 2 digits in this case. We look at 20. How many tens are in 20? We see that there are 2 tens in 20. So the 2, we are going to write it under the 10th column. That is 2. After that, we look at 4. The value of 4 is just 4 because it is a unit. So hence, we are going to write 4 under the unit column. Then we look at our multiplier, 3. Well, 3 here has a value of 3 there has a value of 3. So we are going to put 3 under the unit column. Then have our multiplication. Well, this is fun. We are going to enjoy what we are going to do right now, because we are going to calculate this and be rest assured that we are going to enjoy what we are doing. We are going to multiply 3 by 4, or you can multiply 3 by 2. Whether you start with the unit column or you start with the 10 column, we are going to lay ourselves on the same answer. But in this case, let's start with the unit column. 3 multiplied by, what is the value of 4? Well, we agreed that the value of 4 is just 4. So we are going to multiply 3 by the value of 4, which is 4. And 3 times 4, if you can recall from our previous lesson, 3 times 4 simply means adding 3 4 times. And that will result to 12. Wow, it's a beautiful number. 12 there are 2 digits. The place value of 1 here is tenths, and the place value of 2 is units. So we are going to place 1 under the 10 and 2 under the units. So this is going to give us 1 here and 2 there. We are done with that part. We move to the next part, where we are going to multiply 3 by the value of 2. 3 multiplied by the value of 2, we agree that is what? 20. So 3 times 20 simply means adding 3 20 times. So 3 times 20 will give us 60. The place value of 6 in this number is tenths, and the place value of 0 is just units. So we are going to put 6 and 0 in their respective place values in our solution. So we're going to have 6 under the 10th column and 0 under the unit column. Wow, this is getting interesting. Well, we are done multiplying 3 by the number under the unit column and by the number under the 10th column. What we are left with is to add what we have, and that should give us our answer. Let's add and see. 2 plus 0, well, is 2. And 6 plus 1 will give us 7. Whoa, this simply means that when we multiply 24 by 3, the result is going to give us 72. Let's look at another example. Whoa, this was the second one that we had, which is 14 times 6. We are going to use the same procedures in order to answer this question. Again, we are going to find out, or we are going to investigate the place value of 1 and 4 in 14, and of course their values. And also we are going to find out the value and place value of the multiplier, which is the 6. I will rewrite that as 14 multiplied by 6. The value of, what is the value of 1? The value of 1 is 10. What is the value of 4? The value of 4 is just 4, because 4 is the unit. You look at the multiplier, it's just a single digit. So that makes it a unit, and its value is the same digit. Now we find out the value of 1 in 14 and the value of 4 in 14 as a unit. Hence, we are dealing with two values. So we are going to have the 10th column and the unit column. Well, let's look at the number again. We can all see that the value of 1 is 10. How many 10s are in 10? Well, there is only one 10. So we put 1 under the 10th column. Then we come again and look at 4. The value of 4 is just 4, and 4 is single digit. So it is going to be under the unit column. That will give us the 14 we needed. 4 will be under the unit column, and 1 will be under the 10th column. Then we look at our multiplier. That is 6. 6 is a single digit. So we are going to write it under the unit column and bring our multiplication. Well, this is another fun that we are going to enjoy. As you can remember the first one, we made mention of either ways you start, you are going to lay yourself on the same answer. So this time, instead of starting from the unit column, we will start from the 10th column. We are going to multiply 6 by the value of 1. Remember, we said the value of 1 is 10. So we are going to have 6 multiplied by a 10. So this is going to give us, well, 6 times 10 will simply mean adding 6 10 times. And that will give us 60. We look at that number. 60 here, the place value of the 0 is just a unit. And the place value of the 6 here is 10. So we are going to put 6 and 0 in their respective place values. So 6 will be under the 10th column, and 0 will be under the unit column. Wow, we are done with the tens. Now you go to the units. Well, the unit that we have there is 4. So we are going to multiply 6 by the value of 4. Remember, we said the value of 4 is just 4. So we are going to have 6 times 4. What is 6 times 4? 6 times 4 is 24. Again, we are going to find the place value of 2 in 24 and 4 in 24. The place value of 4 here is unit, and the place value of the 2 is under the tens. So we are going to put 2 and 4 in their respective place values. 2 is under the 10th, and 4 is under the unit. Now we are going to add our results. In this case, we are going to add the values under the unit column together and the values under the 10th column together. By doing so, 0 plus 4 is just going to give us 4. And 6 plus 2 is going to give us 8. We realize that when you multiply 6 by 14, the answer is 84. 14 multiplied by 6 is equal to 84. Well, that was just a quick recap that we wanted to do about multiplying 2 digits by 1 digit number. We are going to enter our lesson proper. That is the target for today. Multiplication of 3 digit numbers by 1. The first example that we see on the board here is 200 and 13 multiplied by 4. So the method that we used to answer the previous questions are the same methods that we are going to use to answer this question. But this time, we'll see a slight difference. Because the values that we are having are 3. So we are going to see 3 place values instead of 2. The number that we are given is 213. The place value of 2, or the value of 2 rather, is 200. And the value of 1 is 10. The value of 3, because it is a unit, it is just 3. So we draw our table. We'll have the 100th column. Then we have the 10th column. And we have the unit column. Let's continue. If you look at the value of 2, we said is 200. How many hundreds are in 200? We have only 2. So we are going to write 2 under the 100 column. From there, we look at 10. How many tens are in 10? There is only 1 10 in 10. So we are going to write 1 under the 10th column. Then we proceed to the last one, that is 3. 3 is just a digit, a single digit. So its value is 3 and its place value is unit. So we are going to put 3 under the unit column. So let me rewrite that. We are done with the first number. Then we look at the multiplier. Well, the multiplier is just a single digit. Its value is 4. And it should be written under the unit column. So we're going to have 4 down here. And the operation is multiplication. Again, we can start by multiplying any of these numbers. We can start with 2. The 100 column, it will give us the same answer. We can start with the 10th column, it will give us the same answer. We can start with the unit column, it will equally give us the same answer. But in this case, let's start with the 10th column and see. The number that we have under the 10th column is 1. And its value is 10. So we are going to multiply 4 by the value of 1. 4 times 10. Remember we said the value of 1 is 10. So 4 times 10 is going to give us 40. Looking at 40, there are 2 digits. The place value of the first digit is unit, and the place value of the second digit is 10. So we are going to put these digits in their respective place value in our solution. So 4 is going to be under the 10, and 0 is going to be under the units. That is all for 1 under the 10 column. We can either move left or right. We can either start with the unit, continue with the unit, or we continue with the hundreds. Let's continue with the hundreds. We are going to multiply 4 by the value of 2. Remember we said the value of 2 is 200. So we are going to multiply 4 by 200. Well, 4 times 200 simply means adding 4 200 times. That will give us 800. Here we see a 3-digit number. Again, we'll try to identify the place value of each digit in that number. The place value of the first 0 is units. The place value of the second 0 is 10. And the place value of 8 is hundreds. So let's put 800 in our solution and make sure each digit in that number is under its respective place value. So we said the first 0 is under the unit column. We write it there. The second 0 is under the 10th column. We write it there. And the last one, which is 8, is under the 100th column. We write it there. So you will simply see that 4 times 10 is equal to 40. But what we do is we try to put 0 under the units and 4 under the tens. 4 times 200 is 800. But we try to put 0 under the unit and the other 0 under the 10 and the 8 under the hundreds. That is simply what we are doing. Finally, we are left with the unit. We are going to multiply 4 by the value of the unit. We said the value of 3 is just 3. So 4 times 3 is going to give us 12. Again, we are going to investigate the place value of each digit in that number. The place value of 2 here is units. And the place value of 1 is 10. So we are going to write 1 and 2 in their respective place values in our solution. So we are going to write 1 under the 10th column and 2 under the unit column. Again, if you multiply 4 by 3, the answer will give you 12. But we don't just write 12 at random. We write 2 under the unit column and we write 1 under the 10th column. Now we have exhausted all the 3. We've multiplied 4 by 2, that is by 200, the value of 2. We've multiplied 4 by the value of 1, and also we've multiplied 4 by the value of 3. What we are left with now is to add. Let's add and see what will be our answer. Again, if we are adding, we add the digits under the unit column together and also the digits under the 10th column together, equally the digits under the 100th column together. Looking at the unit column, we have 0, 0, and 2. So 0 plus 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is going to give us 2. So we have 2 in there. That is all for the unit column. Then we come to the 10th column. 4 plus 0 will give us 4. And 4 plus 1 will give us 5. So we are going to have 5 under the 10th column. Then finally, under the 100th column, we have only one digit. We just write it down. So our answer here, after multiplying 4 by 213, our answer is 852. Looking at the question, we have 213 multiplied by 4. The answer will give us 852. Here we have 8 hundredths, 5 tenths, and 2 units. Let's see if you can have another example. Wow, that comes out as our second example. We have 431 multiplied by 2. We are equally going to use the same method in order to answer this question. I will rewrite the question. 431 multiplied by 2. Well, it is now becoming a culture that we will have to state their values. Let's go back to the culture. The value of 4 is 400. The value of 3 is 30. And do you know why? Because 3 is under the 10th column. So the value of 1 is just 1 because 1 is under the unit. It's a single digit. Well, the multiplier is also a single digit, so its value is just the same number. So let's draw our column for 100, tens, and units. We look at 400. How many hundreds are in 400? There are 4 hundreds in 400. So the place value of 4 here will be under the 100 column. From there, we look at 30. How many tens are in 30? There are 3 tens in 30. So we are going to write 3 under the 10th column. From there, we have 1. Well, 1 is a unit because it's a single digit. So we are going to write it under the unit column. Then we have our multiplier, 2, and multiplication. Ta-da! We start the work again. Again, from the previous example, we enjoyed starting with anyone, but this time I would like us to follow a pattern. I would like us to start from the last one and come towards the first one. That is to say, we are going to start multiplying from the unit column, then move to the 10th column, and finally to the 100 column. So we are going to multiply 2 by the value of 1. We said the value of 1 is just 1. So we're going to have 2 times 1 is equal to. Wow, I know you already know the answer. 2 times 1 is 2. Woo! 2 is just a single digit. That makes life easy because 2 will there be a unit. So we are going to write 2 under the unit column. 2 times 1 is equal to 2, and we put it under the unit column. From there, you multiply 2 by the value of 3. We said the value of 3 is 30. So we are going to have 2 times 30. Well, 2 times 30 is equal to 60. So we look at the place value of 6 and 0. The place value of 0 there is unit, and the place value of 6 is tenths. So we are going to put 6 and 0 in their respective place values. We said 0 is under the unit column. We write 0 here. And we said 6 is under the 10th column. We are going to write 6 somewhere here. Yes, that is all for the units and tens. Then finally, we move to the hundreds. Under the 100 column, we have 4. We said the value of 4 is 400. So we are going to multiply 2 by the value of 4. 2 multiplied by 400. 2 multiplied by 400 is equal to 800. We look at 800 again and state out the place value of each digit in that number. The first 0 will be under the unit column. The second 0 will be under the 10th column. and the third 0 will be under the 100 column. Sorry, the 8 will be under the 100 column. So we are going to write down each and every one of those digits in their respective place value in our solution. So the first 0 is under the unit column. The second 0 is under the 10th column. And 8 there is under the 100 column. So finally, we've multiplied 2 by all the digits that are given. Then we add. What are we adding? We'll add all the digits under the unit together, all the digits under the 10th together, and of course all the digits under the hundreds together. Addition. 2 plus a 0 is 2. We write 2 under the unit column. 6 plus 0 is 6. So we write 6 under the 10th column. Well, under the 100th column we only have 8, so we just bring it down. What do we realize? If we multiply 2 by 431, your answer is going to give you 862. In 862, we have 8 hundredths, 6 tenths, and 2 units. So to bring it down, we are going to have 431 multiplied by 2 will give us 862. Let's see if we will have one more example. Wow. Well, our third example, we have 134 multiplied by 6. 134 multiplied by 6. Well, we just go straight and draw our columns for the 100, tens, and units. 100, tens, and units. We place 1, 3, and 4 in their respective place values. Well, from here we all know that 1 is under the 100 column, 3 is under the 10 column, and 4 is under the unit column. So let's just go ahead and write it. We are going to have 1 under the 100 column, 3 under the 10 column, and 4 under the unit column. The multiplier is 6. We know it's a single digit, so it is going to be under the unit column. Then we multiply. All right, but let us not forget that we are multiplying 6 by the value of those numbers, but not the number itself, but its value. Like for instance, we are multiplying 6 by the value of 4. Again, we will multiply 6 by the value of 3, and we will equally multiply 6 by the value of 1. Let's start from the 100 and we move towards the unit. So in this case, it means we are going to multiply 6 by the value of 1. Well, 1 is under the 100 column, so its value there will be 100. So we are going to multiply 6 by 100, and our answer is going to be 600. So in 600, again there are 3 digits, so we are going to make sure each digit falls under its place value. So the first 0 is going to be under the unit, the second one is going to be under the 10, and 6 is going to be under the 100. That's 600. From there, we started with the hundreds. We are going to move to the tens. We are going to multiply 6 by the value of 3. Because 3 is under the 10th column, its value will be 30. So we are going to have 6 times 30. 6 times 30 will give us 180. So again, we have 3 digits. We are going to write each digit in its respective place value. So the 0 there will be under the units, 8 will be under the tens, and 1 will be under the hundreds. We are done for the hundreds. If also did the tens, we are left with one more, that is the units. We are going to multiply 6 by the value of 4. 6 multiplied by 4 is under the unit column, so its value is just 4. So we are going to multiply 6 by 4. And if you multiply 6 by 4, the answer will give us 24. So again, if you look at 24, there are 2 digits. The first digit will fall under the unit column. The second digit will fall under the 10th column. So we're going to write 4 under the unit column and 2 under the 10th column. Add. As you can see, we have completed multiplying those digits. We add them now. We are going to add the digits under the unit column together. As I said earlier, we are going to add the digits under the 10th column together and also the digits under the 100th column together. So 0 plus 4 will give us 4. They are all under the unit column. Then if you come under the 10th column, you realize that when we add 8 tens and 2 tens, it will give us 10 tens. And 10 tens is equal to 100. What I'm saying is, the 8 here, its value is 80. And 2 here, its value is 20. So when we add 80 and 20, the answer will give us 100. So again, 100 will have to write it in their respective place value. So 1 will be under the 100 column. Sorry, I need to write it down. 1 will be under the 100 column. This 0 will be under the 10 column. And the other 0 will be under the unit column. We've added. If we add 8, all right. If we add 80 and 20, the answer will give us 100. So we are going to write 100. There are 3 digits. We are going to write each digit in its respective place value. So we are going to have 1 under 100, 0 under units, and the other 0 under tens, and the other 0 under units. We've added the unit column, and we've also added the 10th column. Finally, we are going to add the 100th column. Under the 100th column, we have 6 and 1. So 6 plus 1 will give us 7. There we have 7. Again, we'll have to add again to get our final answer. Well, if you observe, when we said 6 plus 1, we wrote is 7. But there are 600s here, and on a 1 here there is only 100. So 600 plus 100 will give us 700. That is why we have 7 under the 100 column, but we can equally put zeros here to show that under that there are no tens and there are no units. So that is going to give us 700. Then finally, we are going to add what we have to get the final answer. 4 plus 0 plus 0 will give us, in fact, I want to change the color. So let's see. 4 plus 0 plus 0 is going to give us 4. Well, 0 plus 0 is 0, so we get it down. And 7 plus 1 is 8. We have that down. Whew. Done. When we multiply 684, our answer became 804. Well, let me beautify the 8 for you. Don't worry. Let me get the 8 done for you. Wow, that's 8. So, in general, when we multiply 334 by 6,
sorry, that's not 334. Please, 134. 134. Can you take it from there?
All right.
You said it before.
All right.
134.
In general, when you multiply 134 by 6, our answer is 804. At the beginning of the lesson, we said we are going to solve problems under multiplication of 3 by 1 digit in 2 methods. That is the first method, and we are going to look at the second method and see how it is going to look like. And again, in the second method, we are going to use the same questions that we have in the first method to solve it and see if the answers will be the same. We said the second method is partitioning method. Well, as I said earlier, both the first method and the second method, that is multiplication using the column multiplication and also using the partitioning method, we make the best use of the place value and values of the digit. That is still there. We are going to make the best use of the place value and the value of the digits in the given numbers. More especially in this example, or in this method, we are going to make the best use of the values of the digits. Like the first learning point that we have here, stating the place value of the digits. We need to know the place value of the digits that are given. Again, the second one, we state the value of each digit. We are going to state the value of each digit and also its place value. So, the first example that we have is 213. If you can remember, we had the same example in the first method. 213 multiplied by 4. 213 multiplied by 4. If you can remember, we said the place value of 2 is 100. The place value of 1 is 10. And the place value of 3 is unit. Well, 4 is also under the unit. But 4 is multiplying all those numbers. Again, we said the value of 2 there is 200. The value of 1 is 10. And the value of 3 is just 3. So we are going to make the best use of the values. So now instead of multiplying 4 by 2 or 1 or 3, we are going to multiply 4 by the values of the value of 2 and the value of 1 and the value of 3. That is to say, we are going to have 4 times the value of 2, which is 200, plus 4 times the value of 1, which is 10, plus 4 times the value of 3, which is 3. Today we are only looking at values. Anything that is not available, we will not look at it. So let's look at the values, okay? So when we multiply 4 by 200, the result is going to give us 800 plus 4 times 10 will give us 40. And 4 times 3 will give us, that is plus 12. What do we realize? Well, this is 800. That when we multiplied 4 by 200, it gives us 800. When we multiply 4 by 10, we have 40. And when we multiply 4 by 3, we have 12. But look at these two brackets. 40 is here and it is a 10. Here we have 12. It means we can separate it. We can have that as 800 plus 40 plus, here remember 12 has two place values. We have 12, the 1 is under the 10. Sorry. The 1 is under the 10th column and the 2 under the unit column. So the value of 1 here is 10 and the value of 2 is just 2. So we are going to separate them using the idea of their values. So we are going to have 12, instead of writing it as 12, we are going to write 10 plus 2. Well, this is a 10 and this one also is a 10, so we are going to add them together. So we are going to have 800 plus 40 plus 10. We are grouping the 10s together. Then we have plus 2. Well, there is no work done. What we simply did is adding 40 and 10 together because they are all 10s. So when we add that, we are going to have 800 plus 40 plus 10 is going to give us 50, and then we have plus 2. Well, we are just this close to the answer. We are going to add them now. We are going to add 800 plus 50 plus 2. So 800 plus 50 is 850. Plus 2 will give us 852. So our final answer is going to give us 852. This is going to be our answer. So in general, when we multiply 213 by 4, the result is 852. Let's go over this one more time. We said in this method, we are going to make the best use of the place value and the values of the digits given. In this question, in this particular question, we are given 213 multiplied by 4. We said we are going to make the best use of the values and the place value. That is why we state the place value of 2, 1, and 3 as 100, tens, and units respectively. Again, we state the value of 2 as 200 because it's under the 100 column. We state the value of 1 as 10 because it's under the tens. And we state the value of 3 as 3 because it is under the units. We said instead of multiplying 4 by 2, 1, and 3, we are going to multiply 4 by their respective values. So in the first case, we multiplied 4 by the value of 2, which is 200. That's what we have here. Then in the second case, we multiplied 4 by the value of 1, which is 10. That is what we have here. And in the third case, we multiply 4 by the value of 3, which is 3, and that's what we have there. So after doing those multiplications, we have 4 times 200 give us 800, and 4 times 10 give us 40, and 4 times 3 give us 12. Well, 12 was kind of odd because you can see 8 is accompanied with only zeros, 4 is accompanied with a 0, but 1 here is being accompanied with a 2. So we said let's kind of separate that. What we have is 12. We said we can separate it by having 10 to be on one side and 2 to be on the other side. But in general, when you add 10 and 2, you're going back to the 12. So here is where we decide to separate it. We have 800, we brought it down. and also brought down the 40 plus 10 plus 2, that gives us the 12. Then we group again. What we group is 4 and 10 in the following step. So we have 800 plus 40 plus 10 plus 2. 40 plus 10 give us 50. So finally we have 800 plus 50 plus 2. And if we add all those terms together, we have 852. So we are going to look at another example. We'll use the same procedure and see if we lay ourselves on the same answer. Okay. Look at this other example. We are asked to multiply 431 by 2. So as you can see from the previous example, we made the best use of the values of the digits. So let's just go ahead and state the value of the digits in those numbers. So starting from the 1, the value of 1, because it's a unit, so its value is just 1. And 3 here is under the 10th column. So its value is 30. Then 4 here is under the 100th column. So its value is 400. So we are going to multiply the multiplier, which is 2, by the values of 4, 3, and 1. We are going to have, this is going to give us 400 multiplied by 2, then plus 30 multiplied by 2. Again we have plus 1 multiplied by 2. Then we do the multiplications. This is the same thing as 400 times 2 is going to give us 800. I would like to relight that 8. 400 times 2 is going to give us 800 plus 30 times 2 will give us 60. Plus 1 times 2 is 2. What do you see? Everything is okay. 100, tens, and unit. So this is simply going to give us 800 plus 60 plus 2. We'll take our time and do the addition bit by bit. 800 plus 60 will give us 860 plus 2. 860, that is, we are adding these two to give us that. So 860 plus 2 will simply give us 862. So you realize that if you multiply 431 in our previous method by 2, the answer was 862. And again, when we use the partitioning method, where you group the hundreds together, we group the tens together, and we group the units together, the answer is also 862. So we look at one more examples, and I will give you some questions to try at home. In this other example, again you can see it is the same example that we treated using the other method. We have 134 multiplied by 6. it is essential we state the value of those digits. So the value of 1 there is 100. The value of 3 is 30. And the value of 4 is just 4. So again, we are going to multiply 6 by the value of 1 and the value of 2 and the value of 4 and sum everything up. That will give us our final answer. So we are going to have, this is the same thing as 6 multiplied by 100, that is the value of 1. We add that up to 6 multiplied by 30. And finally we have 6 multiplied by the value of 4 is just 4. So again, we do the multiplication and see what we are going to have. 6 times 100 will give us 600 plus 6 times 30 will give us 180 plus 6 times 4 will give us 24. If you look at it in general, we are considering this to be 100, we are considering this to be the tens, and we are considering this to be units. But what do we observe? Under the tens, there are 3 digits. We need only 2. And under the units, there are 2 digits, and we need only 1 to be under the unit column. So we are going to separate them. That is going to give us 600 plus. This is 180. So we can have 100 plus 80. So this is 100 plus 80. Plus, what we have here is 24. So we can also separate it. We can have 20 plus 4. That is going to give us 20 plus 4. The reason why we are doing this is because we want to group them. We want to make sure the hundreds are together, the tens are together, and the units are also together. That is why we are trying to group them. We are trying to separate them rather. So we are going to group 600 and 100 together, and also we are going to put 80 and 20 together. So this is going to give us 600 plus 100 plus 80 and 20 will be together. We have 80 plus 20. Then we are left with only one constant, which is the unit, plus 4. Finally, we add and see what we are going to have. So 6 plus 100, 600 plus 100 is going to give us 700 plus 80 plus 20 is going to give us 100 plus, what do we have there? 4 as the unit. We have 4 out here. Again, we observe under the 100 we have 700. Under the tens we have 100. We need to move that to the hundreds. And then we have the 4 as a unit. So this is going to give us 700 plus 100. We are going to group those things together, those two together. 700 plus 100 and we are not going to have any 10. So we just move ahead to the unit. We realize that along the way, the 10s add up together to give us 100, and the 100 column consume that. So if we simplify that, 700 plus 100 will give us 800 plus 4. Yes. Yes.
700 plus 4 with 700 and also 0 zeros would represent the 10 column.
Okay.
So dividing one unit.
All right.
You know, you use 100.
Yeah.
Taking down 100 and you are not left 10. There's no 10.
All right.
0 is important there.
Okay.
The zeros will be
Won't that be much more confusing for the kids?
No, you know,
No, I think
Where is Kari?
what we should be incorporating is like the 3-digit numbers we put together. Those of the same digit numbers we always put together. And it's much easier. The reason why we use the partition is for easy calculation. Even those that are not school, if you ask them to add a 700 and a 100, they can give you the other statement. But if you ask them to add 759 plus 67, they will struggle. They use most of the partition. So 700 plus 100 is 800.
yeah.
Then 800, if you add 4, the child will always give you the answer.
But what would happen here?
But you know, they are not arranging any longer.
This is not column addition.
Yeah.
This is not column addition.
What's he saying?
0, 10 is not there.
What is he saying is?
740
Yeah.
instead of 704.
Okay, like.
700, 0, 10 for you. There is like
Yeah, the zeros will be captured.
Number as set.
Yes. Zero. Yeah. Let me wait. Let me do it like that.
Let me finish.
Yeah, let me do it like that.
End.
Teacher, you are there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm finishing.
Teacher, you are
I am not yet there.
Let me 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Okay.
Before the 4 units. Before writing the 4 units.
Yes.
Supposed to be 0, 10.
Ooh.
Before, next one.
No, Fila. Madam Fila Nekadiwa.
No, that's fine. Okay, that's fine.
Madam, are you referring to this point?
No.
No, allow her. Madam, what do you say?
Writing 100.
Yes.
Just write 100. That portion is
100 plus 0.
No, plus 4. That portion is plus 4.
Okay, like if I'm grouping this one, I will show that there is no 100.
I'm moving this one. Where you move that 100, it should be 0, 10.
Yes.
Before the 4 units.
Yes. Can I move on? Cameraman. Yeah, can I move on? It's 4. So now we've added 80 and 20. The result is 100. So we are going to group the hundreds together again. So this is going to give us 700 plus, here what we have is 100. 700 plus 100. Unfortunately, there is no 10 anymore because the 10s that we were having, we added them together and it became 100. So we are going to have 0 10s plus the 4 units that we have. If we add 700 and 100, the answer is going to give us 800 plus how many tens? 0 tens plus how many units do we have? We have 4 units. So I'm going to continue the working here. So 800 plus 0 is just 800 plus. Well, if you add 800 and 0, it's just going to give you 800 plus 4 what you're going to left with is going to be 800 plus 4. Let me write that again. You have 800 plus 4. 800 plus 4 is 804. So our final answer is going to be 804. That is going to give you the results when we multiply 6 by 134. That marks the end of the lesson for this session. And again, I'm leaving you with some try questions. The questions are not many, there are only 3. You can try them at home. You're going to solve using column multiplication. The first one is 217 multiplied by 3. The second one is 176 multiplied by 4. And the third one is 248 multiplied by 4. So the same numbers you are going to multiply using the partitioning method that we end up with. So you are going to solve these questions using the column multiplication, and again solve the same questions using the partitioning method. Now, I may not be there to assess whether it is correct or wrong, but you can do it for yourself. When you multiply 217 by 3 using the column multiplication, and you multiply 217 by 3 using the partitioning method, if the answers are not the same, then something is wrong somewhere. You have to go and revisit both solutions and see whether you don't make any mistakes. Thank you for your kind attention.